We just schematized our channel. Now we need to start working on the elevation data. Now I did make a backup of this channel because just in case something goes wrong with it, but also more, I think that I use these backups, so it says ready to sample channel elevation, but I think I use these backups more because than a normal person would, because I always mess up the videos. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by assigning, well, first of all, let's do this. I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Actually, I'm going to delete the schema data, and I am going to change my cross-section names real quick, and that doesn't take long. But I'm going to do this slightly differently than normal. So I'm going to click Open Attribute Table, right-click the layer, Open Attribute Table, and then I'm going to use this editor right here. I'm going to change this to Name, and then I want to concatenate. So I want to use the concatenate tool. So concat, open parentheses, open single quotation mark, because this is going to be a string. We'll call this G1 or Greenway 1 dash, and then the next, that will be closed string, comma, and then the thing that we want to concatenate that with is the FID. Now that is a field, so that is a double quotation, FID, close the quotation, close the parenthesis, and I only want to get like the first ones, so that'll be, I just want to assign this first ones here. So that'll be G1, update selected, and then we'll get the next 7 or so. Let's see what we got here. Nope, that's too many. Let's try that again. So we go 8 through 21 was too many. Let's try 19. Nope, that's still too many. Let me hit Control and we'll try to uncheck those until we find the end. Okay, now that's the right amount. This will become G2, meaning segment 2, all update selected. And then we'll grab the last of them, and these will be G3 and update selected. So we should now be able to identify our cross sections by which segment they're assigned to. I don't want to hit the save button because again that's annoying. I mean that doesn't do the right thing. So we'll close the table and hit the save button right here, because not only will that rename our cross sections, but it will also trigger data to be written to the channel tables. These are now all natural cross sections, so we want that to stay natural, so don't use your roller wheel in here. And we want to sample our elevation from our elevation layer, and we'll just sample all of them. So if I click sample all, you can see that it's just going to sample them all, but that can take some time if you have a large project. Now let's start reviewing our cross sections from cross section number 1 through cross section N. So I'm going to select the cross section, select the cross section. Now I can use the roller wheel in here to quickly move up and down. Don't worry about that, just ignore that. Although it is annoying, so I do go ahead and turn it off. So we click that, will make us go to that specific cross section, and it'll turn it red using a rubber band, meaning that that is the cross section that we're working on. And I want you to look at a couple of things here. So oh, I don't know. Oh, that's not our grid elevation, that's why. So you can see here that I did get on, that's why it's doing this funny little up and down jaggedy thing here, because I did get on the wrong position of the cross section right there. Now what the sample elevation is doing, it's going from, or if I could get like a get on this and hit toggle editing. No, it's still that same. And then go to the vertex. Yeah. So what it's doing is it's taking the elevation sampling from this point to this point. So if I move, if I come down here to all these and hit edit, if I move, just ignore that message, and then go back here to vertex tool. If I move this guy this way a little bit and get it off that elevation, that might be best. But remember, they have to cross and be in the same segment, so make sure that's inside the left bank or inside this grid element. and that one, and then now check this out. Now I can do a sample single cross section. I really wish I didn't have to click yes for that, so I'll just hit the enter key, and you see that smooths that right out. Let's move down to the next one. So roller wheel down, and that one seems okay. I know it looks a little funny, but that's probably just the LiDAR data, but you have a good continuity here. Let's see what happens if we move it like a little bit. Let's see what happens, and then we click sample yes, and nothing really happens. So you're not really going to get away from that. What if we did this? Sample. Now, nothing really happened, so didn't really change much. So let's just leave that here, and we'll sample yes. And it looks good. We got both of our banks in there. Let's go to the next one. Nothing wrong with that one. Let's just leave it as is. That one is fine. Just leave it. Note I did not get. What would happen if I put across this elevation right here? Let's check that out. See, that's gonna like sample that elevation. So we want to keep our cross section away from that incoming channel, because again, like I said, we're going to ignore those and pretend they don't exist because this is a basic instructional lesson. All right, let's move on down to the next one. Oh, I don't have to, by the way, you don't have to move the map. It'll just move it for you. Nothing wrong with that one. That one is, I don't really like the position of that, so I think I will move that one here and here and just resample it. Yeah, that's better. We don't want it down inside that side channel. And then let's check and see what's going on with this one. It's going to get funky. Look at that. It's totally wrong. So this one's totally in the wrong spot. Now remember I told you, well, where should we put this? Should we be up on here or should we be down in here? So clearly I think it's better to stay down in, whoops, in here. Sorry, escape. State, I messed up. Okay, I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to pick that one up and move it back. Ah, that was a stupid cross. Let's just get that cross section out of the way for a second. Okay. Yeah, that's better. And then we'll move our cross section. Oops, escape. If you pick up that center point, you're going to be in the center and you're at it. So you're going to add another vertice. So just escape out of that and try to pick it up from like in between the two segments, but not all the way in between the two segments. And let's just pop this here. Just extend that up there. And let's run this guy just to see what that, yeah, there we go. That's much better. So we definitely want to stay away from that opening of that culvert just so we don't accidentally get that elevation data. Now this one's looking also a little bit funky. Let's see what the next one looks like. So that will be 2. We are now on G2. That one actually doesn't look too bad. And to be honest with you, I would maybe not, like, this one's going to be real close to being too wide. So what you might want to do on this one is just go ahead and move it up. Go on and just move it up here and then just let it be a little bit wider, because it's not really picking up that full cross section and it's going to be too wide. It's going to possibly trigger an error message that it's too wide for that system. So let's do this. And that looks good. And if you are worried about that rubber band, don't. Okay, just return to that cross section and see it fixes that rubber band. So that looks pretty good right there. The left bank could probably do a little better, but if you aren't careful, you'll get on the wrong side of that wall. So that's why I don't worry too much about that. And then you'll note we also missed a transition here, so I'm going to fix that later. Alright, so if you start messing around with these positions, you need to use this to save. Okay, don't use this to save your cross sections, because it can mess things up. Ah, stupid. We were on G2-8. Okay, we'll go down. And that one is a little funky, so let's turn that editor on and pop that, and let's get back on that vertex tool. I just don't really like the position of that altogether. Let's just do it like that. And that's a little better. Let's see what's going on with this one. Again, let's just put it like this and see what happens with that one. That's fine. Go to the next one. That one's... On this one's a little messed up. So on this one, why don't we pick this guy up a little? Let's do that. Yeah, that's better. Don't worry about that one. This one looks fine. And again, don't worry about that. We don't want that in our elevation because we're just, let's just pretend this is a simple channel. So that one's fine. That one's a little off. So let's pull the right bank up a little, like that. And again, if you feel that your cross section is away, just move it out of the way, and then you can move it back. Yeah, that's good. Okay, be careful because that cross section is a little skinny, so give it a buffer. And again, it is sampling from right here to right here. What do we got here? Let's just maybe move this up a little. There's no reason for that to be like so perfectly on that left bank. Let's go to the next one. That one looks fine. And then the next one is that wider transition, and that one also looks fine. Go downstream. There's definitely a problem here. Check that out. That we don't want that. So let's take this up. First of all, we're going to move this up. Oh, that's the left bank. Sorry. Yeah, that's the left bank. So that is this one. So let's just do that. And this one's actually fine. And sample it. Yeah, that was better. You could probably even go up a little further, but we don't worry too much about it. And then the next one should be looking okay. And if you want, bring that up a bit. Yeah, that's better. Keep going down to the next one. Yeah, not too bad. Why don't we... Again, it's so hard to pick up the perfect right point. Okay, and just sample that. Yeah, it's better. And that might be too far, so maybe put it back or put it back a little. There, that's better. And then of course, check your alignment. That's fine. There's alignment. The alignment's fine on that one. Okay, next one. Maybe pop this one up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, same thing. Maybe just pop that up a little bit. And look at how this one's crossing. I don't really like that. So that's going to really pinch this channel in between here. So I'm going to go ahead and move that one up there. And just kind of leave it like that. And again, let's give that a buffer. And I didn't move anything. I didn't change anything. So I don't need to resample the cross section. If I resample it, it's not going to change. This one, oh, sorry. That one is, I don't particularly like that one. Let's do this. Let's go here and maybe here. Actually forcing it into this cell. And let's do this. Go down and back up just to reset the rubber band. And that one's buffer is a little bit too crazy. Sample, fine, looking good. This one seems fine. I'm not going to mess with that one. That one seems fine. That one seems good. Probably got a little bit too much going on over here, but it'll just ignore this when you run the model. And that one is good. Okay, so these cross-section positions are all good. They all have a good carrying capacity. You know, they're going to be able to move water from upstream to downstream. They transition well, but we are missing one transition. So over here, we will select this line and hit save. And then these two, we'll just hit save. Okay, don't have to do that twice. And we can unselect from all layers using that. And let's take this off of the stay with that button. Let's take that off of that button. Now, let's see. Do this, zoom to layer. Now I want to take a look on how to fix this cross section right here, this missing cross section. So before you schematize, if you want to add an interior cross section that's out of order, you want to do that before you schematize. If you've already schematized, just delete your schema data. That's fine. And you might want to do a save, like a backup of your project right now. That might also be a good idea. But I'm going to try it without doing a backup, and really what I'm going to try to do is just put my transitional cross section right here. So in order to do that, I just come here, add a cross section, and I will just pop it right in here, right click, and click OK, and then click Save. And hopefully what you'll see is that you now have this new cross section, but when I hit Schematize, I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna name it New, so that you can keep your eye on where it goes. Now I think when I hit Schematize, that should be put into the correct placement in that list. So let's go ahead and try that. We're going to do Schematize. Now let's check the position of that new cross section. It did indeed get put into the right position. So everything is good now.